What's up, Judd? That's nice. That was nice.
That's good.
How you been? How you been since like 2 days ago?
Been alright. Not really changed. Just been setting some more stuff up for my Call of Cthulhu campaign that I'm going to be running. And then I also saw the Gamers Rise Up movie, Joker 2019, Mr. Wax Phoenixes.
You've actually got a lot to talk about, haven't you? Because you went out like doing something, and then you went to see that movie. You've been doing some Cthulhu shit. I've got a couple things that I've been doing too.
Yeah.
Look at that. Would you look at that? Some interesting things to talk about for once. Rather than just complaining about the crap.
Instead of just fucking bullshit. I probably will find something to complain about, but...
What did you do? You went out you went out like separate to going to see the Joker at some point, didn't you? Didn't you go out drinking or something like that?
Ages ago, yeah, like a couple weeks ago. Maybe 2 or 3 weeks ago, yeah.
And did we talk about that on the podcast?
I don't think we did.
How was it?
I think it was literally like a day after we'd done a podcast.
Right.
No, I think it was like after we recorded the podcast, because we recorded it, and then I think on that day I went out.
So how was that? What did you do?
It was really good. I wore the new stuff that we bought from Primark.
Yeah.
I got about 6 or 7 different people. One of them, I only actually knew one of them, which was my mate Sam. And I got to his house, and he opened the door. Was like, "Oh, you're looking good. You're looking like you're not gonna shoot up a school for once." And I'm like, "Thanks." And so then we went out, and then probably like another 5 or 6 people complimented me. 3 of them were in the fucking toilets as well. Because
why does that make a difference? Like, people don't normally give you compliments in the toilets.
Well, no, it's just that it wasn't like, on the dance floor boogieing down, and then somebody's like, "Hey, I like your shirt," or outside smoking and stuff.
Yeah, but you can't really talk on the dance floor, can you?
No, not really. But like, I did talk to someone on the dance floor, which I'll tell you about a bit later, because that was really funny. But yeah, so we were just in the toilets, and then one guy went, "You're looking really good tonight, like your shirt looks great," and then 2 other people went, "He is looking really good." like they really wanted to say something, and they're glad somebody else said it.
Yeah. All I have to say to that is, you're welcome, because I helped you pick that stuff out, and it's obviously working, so...
Yeah. And then I probably had another 2 people. In fact, hold on, I got a picture from that night out that I need to send you. But I had another 2 people come up to me, like through the night, saying, "You're looking really good." And I even got a few snogs off of a girl.
Oof.
Girl.
What was this girl like?
She was pretty nice. We weren't like talking for long, because it was like right at the end of the night when they were kicking everyone out. So basically, I was sat talking to a couple of her gay mates. I don't know why. I think I was just drunk, and I was just like,
just as a disclaimer, you're not like saying that as an insult, like, "Oh, they were fucking gay." Like they were actually they were gay.
Yeah, they're actually gay. I think the reason I was talking to them is because I've only ever had a boyfriend once, and it didn't last that long. And I was just saying, like, how did you 2 meet, and how's it going, if you don't mind me asking? And they're just like, "Actually, we've met tonight." So
right, okay.
I was like,
well.
"Oh, all right." But then this girl came over who I think knew the 2 gay guys, and she was like, "Oh, I like this one." And I was like, "Oh, thanks." And then she just gave me a few snogs, and I'm like, "Okay, all right." But I have got a picture of someone who I bumped into on that night out. Hold on, let me find it.
Is it going to be a spoiler if you tell me who it is you bumped into, or?
Hold on.
I'm holding really tight.
I
can't hold on much longer.
Hold on longer.
While Judd's finding that, let me tell you about our sponsor today. You've heard a sponsor segment before, the intro music, so check them out, that's brilliant. But also, You can get this podcast on Spotify, Apple Music, and all other streaming platforms, essentially. It's brilliant if you do, because we get a little moolah from that. But if you want to see a video version, you can see it live at twitch.tv/gamesbadly, or you can watch it after we've recorded it on youtube.com, and it's more Jacob Fox that you find on there, as well as links in the description to things like merch and stuff like that. Come watch us on a live stream. Come watch us, twitch.tv/gamesbadly. I recently hit gold on Apex Legends Ranked, so yeah, I'm okay at that game. Yeah, come watch us play some games. There you go. I got all those ads out of the way. Are you ready to show me whatever you're trying to show me yet, Judd?
I am. I'm sending you it on Facebook right now.
Okay, thank fuck for that, you lazy ass bitch. Right. What is it here? What am I seeing? Oh, wait a minute. Yeah. Is that Big Nathan?
That is Big Nathan. I bumped into Big Nathan.
Oh shit! Big Nathan's fucking balding, isn't he? Jesus Christ! Right. Okay. So for the context of this podcast, right, in high school, me and Judd were like even more losers than we are now. Like probably quite significant. I mean, we're still pretty much massive losers now, but we were like a lot more losers in high school than we are now. So I had maybe like 2 or 3 friends, and there was Dan and Little Nathan and Big Nathan. There was a few others, but I don't know if I'd class them as friends. And Big Nathan was always kind of like the cool, attractive one of us 3. He could have been friends with the cool kids, but that just wasn't him. So he was like tall and good looking and things like that. And apparently Judd's bumped into him on this night out.
I bumped into him at Co-op, yeah.
He's fucking balding. Jesus Christ, bless him. I mean, he still looks better than both of us, obviously. But, you know, how was he? Like, I've not spoken to him in ages.
He were alright. I think I was only out with one person. I didn't see him out with many other people. We talked for a bit, and that's pretty much it. He's doing alright. It were a really busy night at Co-op that night, because what they'd done was they'd open the back shutters up and opened up the whole warehouse space. So there was axe throwing on, there was like dancers, there was these big foam things that you stand on and you try to bash people off each side.
Oh, that sounds cool, actually.
And there was like a big Jägermeister like mobile caravan thing that were in there. Arcade games was like House of the Dead, stuff like that. So it was a really busy night. But yeah, so I met Big Nathan there. Anything else exciting? Oh yeah. Towards the end of the night, when I was very drunk, there was like me, my mate Sam, and as mate Blake.
Blake.
Yeah.
I bet he gets all the pussy.
He does.
Anyone called Blake, I mean.
We were all on the dance floor, and there were these 2 people dancing, and one of them looked. In fact, I'm going to say it, he didn't at all look like Steve Harrington from Stranger Things.
Right.
But very, very slightly, maybe he did. If he was very drunk and you're in a dark room like me. So we were dancing next to him, I pointed him and I went, "Oh, Steve Harrington from Stranger Things!" And he was going, "What?" And I'm like, "You look just like Steve Harrington from Stranger Things." And a bit of him was like, I don't know, but I think he was like, "I don't know what you're saying." And then I was like, "Hold on." And he was dancing with this girl. I was like, "Both of you, stop dancing, hold on." And I brought up a picture of Steve Harrington on my phone, and I showed it to the girl and pointed at him, and she just started laughing at him. And then he was like, "What?" And then I showed him it, and it was like, "Okay, you come give me a hug." So I got a hug off of this Steve Harrison looking like.
I love how that played out for you compared to how it would have played out for me. If I'd have done that, it'd have been like, "Oh, fuck off, mate," and like made me to like go. Somehow you're like lucky and managed to like make friends with these people. I don't know how that works.
I don't know.
So just so you know, I think like a lot of my family are downstairs still, like as in not just my family who lives in this house. My grandma and granddad have come to visit, as well as my uncle and one of my cousins. So I've essentially abandoned them to come and record this, but it's fine because like everyone knew that I had something to do around this time.
Yeah.
So if you can hear anything happening around there, that's fine. Also, I'm bearing that in mind because if we like shouting about like pussies or some shit, you know, it's not going to look great, is it?
We can't shout the N-word like we always do all
Yeah,
the time.
we are always doing that.
All the time.
So I went. I don't know if I told you about that weird drum thing I went to see. Well, I didn't go to see that specifically. I went to see my girlfriend singing at something.
Oh, yeah.
Did I say that on the podcast, or did I say that just on another stream, or what?
I'm not too sure. I can't really remember.
I think I told you it when we went to get you clothes, didn't I?
No, it was definitely over Discord.
I'll tell it again anyway, just in case. But first, I want to know, we got 2 outfits for you when we went shopping, didn't we? Have you tried both of them on like a night out or anything yet?
Yeah.
And did one get a better response than the other, or is it a similar sort of thing? Or
if not, I can guarantee the one with like the nice shirt, the like
floral shirt,
the floral shirt, is going to get a better response than the other one, because the other one is quite, I'd say almost common. Like
it's not as fancy.
You'd expect to see that on a night out. Like if you saw that stood with a bunch of other people in a smoking area, you're just gonna be like, okay, if that's all normal. But if you see
the term you would use for it is it doesn't peacock as much. It doesn't stand out as much, and that's what we were trying to do when we were getting clothes for you. I was saying you need to buy something that's quite like sort of loud and interesting, but still stylish, and you don't want to be over the top and look like a fool, but you know it has to catch people's attention. So. Okay, cool. Well, I went to see my girlfriend just singing at this sort of like open day thing for her university, and the first act on there was this like guy with a.
She wasn't invited to sing. She was just stood in the corner singing to herself, and he just decided to film her and watch her instead of helping her because she was having a mental fucking breakdown.
No, but there was this drummer. And all he had was a snare drum, and he was doing this like fancy drumming, and there was this text-to-speech like thing going on behind him, and he was like drumming along with what it was saying, but it was like the way it was presented, it sounded like this text-to-speech thing were like glitching out. So it was like saying, "My name is Vicky. My name is Wiki," and it would like say like. Kind of do that, and then it'd go for like certain bits, and he'd like spell things wrong on the screen on purpose for what it sounded like she was saying and things like that, and he'd drum along to this, and it was quite cool and fancy, and it was funny. It was supposed to be. I could tell it was supposed to be funny, like the way he'd spelt things wrong on purpose. Like as in sometimes when it sounded like she said her name was Wiki, he'd put like Wikipedia like font, and it'd just say Wiki in like the Wikipedia font, and little things like that were like kind of like, oh, that's quite funny. And no one else got it, and I felt like a madman, like giggling to myself at all these little subtle jokes on this text-to-speech thing, and everyone else was just sat there like just watching him drum, and it were really weird. But I also went to Friday, you know, after we got done streaming.
Yeah.
I said I had to go out to this gig thing, didn't I? For essentially, it were more of a business trip than anything. It weren't for pleasure. I was trying to find people to go with, and no one would go, essentially. Like, we already know I've got no friends. But I asked you, I asked Helena, I asked 2 lads from university, I asked the lads from my band, I asked 2 other people I know who are living in Leeds that might have been living in Leeds. I know one of them is, that might potentially want to go, and no one, either they were busy or they didn't want to. And so I had to go on my own, because I needed to go and essentially find out how I could get my band to play at this gig. So I go on my own, and the trains are already running late, which isn't... Well, actually, first things first, I got ready and got myself like looking nice, because it's for a gig. Like, you don't want to like turn up like just in a t-shirt or something. I wanted to look like, you know, like going out clothes. So I get myself ready, and then I have to walk to the train station. It's like a 20-minute walk, 20 minutes, half an hour. So I have to walk there. So it starts raining for a start, which isn't brilliant. And then the train is like all fucked up and takes me to Huddersfield, and then I have to change from Huddersfield to Leeds, and that takes ages. So I ended up the gig's supposed to start at 7:30. I ended up getting in at 7:15, and it takes 10 minutes to walk there, so I would have been at the gig on time, but the thing is, I'd not eaten, like, all day, and I was planning on, like, the train should have got there in time for me to go get some food and then go to the gig. But it didn't do that, so I had to get some food, and then I were really late for this gig. I only managed to get there when the last act was playing, so I'm already in a massive fucking fluster. And then I get there, and I'm stood on my own, which is already weird. But the band's playing. I listened to this band, and they were pretty good. And they finished. And on the, like, sort of running order, it says there's DJs after, but I think the DJs were, like, in the bar rather than, like, the place where this gig was being, like, the room this gig was in. So I was kind of stood round waiting for him to swap over for the DJ thing, and I wanted to, like, talk to one of the members of this band to ask him how they got on the stage. But I, like, just stood on my own, and, like, most of the people were, like, walking out of this room, so I just looked like a creep and, like, stood there in the corner, like, on my own, like, kind of looking at these band members going, oh, can I talk to him now? Is this a good time to talk to him? What shall I do? And it was so weird and annoying, and essentially what I did was, it doesn't help, like, that I've got heightened anxiety from this new medication that I'm on at the minute.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, for fuck's sake, I really don't want to have to just go and talk to these strangers that I don't know. Which is exactly why I wanted someone else there. If I had you there with me, it wouldn't have been any fucking problem, would it? I'd have just sent you to go and, like, stand near them, and then somehow they would have been like, they would have loved you somehow, and then we'd have been good. But
the thing is, all I imagine then is, like, you sort of just going, right, deploy Jordan, and just walk around just drinking a fucking chalky milk out of a cat and just stood there, like, glazed eyes, staring into the distance, like, this kid's fucking great.
They'd all turn to you and go, look at this little guy, what's going on here? So anyway, this...
Do you want to make out?
the lead singer of this band was this ginger girl, and she came back into the room from the bar to get a coat or something, or a bag, and she walked past me, like, stood on my own, like, obviously, like, there for some stupid reason. So I had to I thought, right, I'm just gonna have to fucking do it. And it's not, I couldn't even think, you know, normally when I do something like this, I think, well, I'm probably never gonna see these people again, so it doesn't matter, and I normally don't care. But she goes to my university. I'm pretty much definitely gonna see her for another 2 years at least. So I had to just go. I just sort of went, excuse me, and I just wanted to say I really enjoyed that. And like I wanted to first, like, talk to her about her set first, rather than just go, excuse me, how did you get to play here? You know, because that's kind of rude and not nice. So I don't know, I talked to her then, talked to her a bit about music stuff, and eventually found out how she got on to play. I had to talk to this other guy who were, like, organising it as well, but that was sorted. Luckily, she didn't get freaked out, and she was just complimented. And I think she enjoyed that. I used my superior producer listening skills to say, I think you're in a choir, aren't you? Because I know about this shit, you know. And she was like, oh yeah, I'm in too. How did you know that? And I was like, oh, I know my shit, you know, you dumb bitch. I know my shit. No, I wasn't like that. She's very nice, actually. Yeah, so she was pleased with that. And it was the first time they played together. But I hated it. I hated how, like, weird and awkward I was, just stood in this corner like, excuse me, young madam.
That's how I felt at Helena's, like, birthday party. A lot of the time was just like, I don't want to fucking talk to anybody.
But you knew me, like, I can like introduce you to people and talk to people and that sort of thing.
Yeah, but you don't introduce me well, so.
Yeah, I introduce you perfectly, actually. Everyone commended my way of introducing you. They thought it was brilliant. For the people who don't know what we're talking about, the way I introduce Judd to people at parties is, I bring him over to him and say, "Hi, this is Judd," and then I, like, tell him a bunch of weird stuff he's he once pissed on a homeless guy, he once, like, headbutted a bin, like jumped headfirst into a bin. And then I go, but he has got a big dick. And then the only response everyone goes to that is, oh, all right. Like, because then, like, at least they know that you're going to be kind of weird, and they're like, prepared. But like, then it softens it because they're like, oh, well, he's got a big dick. That's quite cool. So, yeah, it works every time. It's brilliant. So yeah, that's one of the things I've been up to. Tell us about this Joker movie, Judd. How was that?
Well, I definitely can't say any spoilers, can I?
No,
So-
I just a general sort of, a general vibe. Was it good? Was it not good? That sort of thing.
I thought it was incredibly good. I think it's one of the best films I've ever seen in my life. It's Joaquin Phoenix is fucking phenomenal. It's just great.
Let's see what it's got on Rotten Tomatoes. It's got 69% critics and 91% audience.
Yeah,
so that's pretty good.
I've been noticing that critics are going. A lot of the critics are going. They're either like it's shit, or they're like, oh well, it's going to inspire violence, and it's like, no, it's not. You're just a fucking retard. It's like they think that the message of the story is because Arthur Fleck, who is the main character. This isn't really spoilers because, like, if you've seen any trailer, or if you know who the Joker is, then it's not a spoiler. But because Arthur Fleck gets treated poorly, he responds in kind with like violence.
Yeah.
So he's lashing out, and that's it. And they think because in the movie his sort of actions are glorified, that means the movie's message is to glorify violence, and it's like, no.
And so like a film like 300 didn't do that then. Oh.
Yeah. It's like that's not the message at all. If there's any message, it's that we should stop being so fucking awful to each other. But people are going, oh well, this man is violent in this movie. Everyone is going to copy him and we're all going to die.
It's the whole argument of video games cause violence type thing, isn't it? And I know it's not a video game, but it's the same argument of, oh, well, they enjoy like shooting each other so much in games that they'll do it in real life. No.
Yeah.
No, of course not. Yeah. I would find that horrible. I never want to shoot someone. Like, that's why I do it in a game, so that it can be enjoyable. So.
But it's hard to like praise the movie so much without going into spoilers, but it's the acting's fantastic, the camera work's fucking great, the score's amazing, it looks amazing, the setting's great. You know what else I love about it? It could totally not be anything related to Batman. It could just absolutely just be its own thing. Because,
I think it should be as well.
Because to be honest, like, they probably say Gotham like 3 or 4 times. Like, a lot of the time people say in the city because it looks a lot like New York.
That's what Gotham's meant to be, really.
Well, I know, but it's like you can so easily swap out Gotham for New York and just have Arthur Fleck just become this weirdo, not necessarily the Joker. It's like the Wayne family's sort of in it, and the only other place that sort of gets brought up is Arkham. That's it. There's no like, oh, and this guy over here who you're talking to happens to be called Oswald Cobblepot. Ooh, there's nothing like that. There's nothing like that. In fact, a lot of the time during the movie, I forgot it was anything to do with that. Like, I did, because I'm just sat there watching this fucking weirdo on screen. I'm not going, that's Joker.
Well, they did say, to be fair, that it's not part of the DC universe thing. It's on its own. It's like it's not part of it, which is right. It should be.
I tell you what, though. In a way, I desperately fucking wish it was, because like before the start of the movie, the trailer for Birds of Prey came on. I was like, fucking hell, the DC universe, like the DC cinematic universe, is awful. It's so bad. And then I'm sat there watching Joker, and I'm like, this is stunning. I said to my mate Tom, who I went to go see it with afterwards, I was like, if all the DC movies were somehow like that, Marvel would get fucking steamrolled.
No,
Honestly,
they
like
wouldn't.
if they were
They
like
wouldn't get
that,
steamrolled. They'd just be in fair competition. You can't just because the Marvel films are brilliant as well. So it's not like just because one's a bit better than the other doesn't mean they'd get destroyed. It's the
I'd
only
say
reason the DC universe is getting steamrolled by Marvel is because they're trash. They're so much worse.
I'd say this movie is above all the cinematic universe for the Marvel ones. It just is. It's fantastic.
I find that hard to believe.
It's just fantastic because you're a fanboy and you obviously fanboy over it so much to a point where you're blinded. But that's fine. But it's
That says you. You're a Joker fanboy. I've not seen the Joker film, so it could be. But
I went, that's fucking shit.
But the reason I find it hard to believe is because they were so good. The Marvel films are so good. But if it is better than all of them, brilliant. It's another film that's brilliant. Fine, I'm happy with that.
Honestly, you'll have to watch Joker because I'm planning to see it. I saw it on opening night with Tom. My mum desperately wants to see it. My nan desperately wants to see it. I'm gonna go with them to go see it. I'm probably gonna go with you to go see it. I want to watch it as many times as possible.
Yeah, I'd like to see it.
I think it's really, really good. I don't think. Is there anything else I can?
I think that's enough anyway.
Yeah, that's basically it. There's obviously, again, this isn't a spoiler at all because he doesn't start off the Joker. There is a transformation, and the transformation is fantastic. Like when it happens, because like a lot of the movie, I was sat there, I was thinking, this is good and all, but is he the Joker? Is it Joker? But then there is a bit where I just went, yeah, it just is. He's just is him.
Yeah.
Like, and I think it's great. I think it's a great movie.
Brilliant. Speaking of movies, the new Star Wars movie, right? The last one in the trilogy. Do you think you would want to see that at the cinema or not? Because I'm kind of torn as to whether I even want to bother watching it at the cinema or just watch it like when it's out later.
We're gonna watch it at the cinema when it comes out for content.
Right.
For fresh
content.
Yeah.
Because we can't wait until yeah. That makes sense.
It's just gonna be.
But here's the thing then. Do we care about Star Wars enough to see it in IMAX anymore?
No, I'm not spending fucking IMAX bucks on Star Wars. No.
That's fair. I think I would agree with that. That makes sense. So what else have I been up to? What else have you been up to, Judd?
I've got my Call of Cthulhu stuff, but if you've got one, then you do your. Because I've just done one, so if you do one, and then.
Well, I mean, I've only got an Apex update, really, on what I've been doing on Apex, because I've been spending a lot of time on Apex Legends, and...
Fucking fresh Apex update.
It's been going well. Season 3 is really fun. I like the new map a fair bit. I got the best game I've ever had last night on stream. 11 kills, 2,500 damage. It were actually 2,600 damage. And it were ranked as well at, Silver 1. I've also found a couple guys online who play ranked. So... I've been ranking up with them, and I've got to Gold 4 now. So if you want to play at some point, then you don't have to deal with shitty randoms, because I actually know a few people that... I know like 3 other people other than us who are like suitable for ranked. So that's pretty good. I've been enjoying it. I've been playing a shit ton of it. It's just so... I just love it, to be honest. And that's that. So, yeah. What I did want to... I thought what might be fun is having some stupid random topics, so here's a spoon.
There's a spoon?
Yeah, I'm holding it right now. That's good for a podcast, right? Yeah, visual gag?
People like,
on the podcast?
People like utensils.
That's me bashing a spoon on another metal object.
Yeah.
Okay, what I did think is... buses and trains, right?
Yeah.
If they cost the same... Yeah? If it was the same... Right, say you want to go to Leeds, and you're going to get a bus or a train, and it costs the same amount, and it's going to take just as long, which one will you pick?
Train.
Why?
I don't know, I feel like I can relax more on trains, and I feel like there's fewer crazy people on trains as well.
Really? I feel like
yeah,
there's more drunks on trains. You know, like coming home from a night out.
If it's specifically from a night out, then yeah, then there's going to be more drunks. But I have seen so many people on buses recently, like a normal time in the morning, where I've just been like, what the fuck is wrong with you? Like, you're a freak.
And
You're
you know that's bad when you're saying it as well.
Just stuff like that. So I feel like I got that. I get that a lot less when I'm on trains. This also just, for some reason, I find it nice. I really like being on a train. I think it's because, like, I have memories of when I was younger, when I used to go on the train to see my uncle in London, and I'd on the train ride there, I'd be listening to like Arctic Monkeys and Foo Fighters and Gorillaz and stuff, and you know, I've been listening to music like that on me little red MP3 player, and that's for some reason that's just a really strong memory that I have. So I always like it when I go on trains.
I suppose there's more seats on a train as well, isn't there? So you're more likely to get sat down, that sort of thing. Yeah. Do you know that trains are like one of the most deadly forms of transport?
Yeah, I know that.
So,
Maybe that's why I like going on them so much. I'm just like, so I get to have all this seating area, and I might fucking die.
Perfect.
Awesome.
Oh dear. Well, Bob's Burgers. What do you think of that?
Fucking Bob's Burgers. It's all right.
Is it?
It's all right.
I feel like it's actually just not funny at all.
I think it can be a little bit funny sometimes.
Is it more funny than Family Guy?
I mean, it's funnier than New Family Guy. It's not funnier than older Family Guy.
Where do you think? What season do you think is the turning point for Family Guy? Like, I feel like after the Simpsons episode they did, that's probably like the last call.
No. It was before that.
No, the Simpsons one was pretty good.
No, because they started doing all the fucking But it's literally been since they were doing the stupid fucking Conway Twitty shit. And they just were like, ladies and gentlemen, Conway Twitty, and it's like a full 5-minute song, and you're just like, get back to it, you fucking idiots.
You've got it all wrong, right? Family Guy as a whole was funny then, right? But those jokes weren't. Those Conway Twitty ones weren't actually funny.
It's fucking stupid. Those piss me off so much. Like, I can tell the only reason they put them in is because they could be like a haha funny reoccurring joke, but really it's just they didn't want to spend as much time fucking animating and thinking.
The point of those jokes is for like the people like you that it will piss off.
It's just not funny. But even the people that it doesn't piss off, just like, okay, right, good.
Yeah.
Like,
it's well.
Honestly.
What do you think of this title of this article here that says "People flee Joker movie screaming after man in audience leaves them terrified"? The man's frightening behaviour forced many to leave the cinema showing of the controversial film. Let's see what this Lad Bible article says.
What did he do? What did he do?
A man at a cinema in America was reportedly escorted out by security during a screening of Joker after he began loudly cheering and clapping every time a character was killed on screen, prompting fears among the audience that he would start hurting people. These Americans sound like fucking pussies. The incident saw a third of the audience leave the theatre near New York.
It is all Americans as well. That wouldn't happen over here.
No.
If somebody was cheering like that, somebody would go, shut the fuck up, or smack him, and that'd be it.
And he'd get taken out, and it would just be him who got escorted out.
Yeah, and as he was being taken out, everybody go, "Way, dickhead," and that'd be it.
But the thing is, that's the state of America, isn't it? Like, if someone's acting that weird, they're probably going to shoot the whole cinema up. Like, that's how it works there. There's a tweet from a guy here that says, "I was there, dude sat next to me, I saw him pour a full bottle of tequila into his slushy before the movie started."
There you go.
He was just drunk. When he stumbled away wasted, I thought he had left, but I guess he had just sat somewhere else and started his clapping. That sounds like it made the film better for them, really. I mean, it made it more terrifying.
Yeah.
Why are they so mad? Just calm down. Well, I mean, I would be pissed off if someone were doing that. Like, I'd want them escorted out, but I wouldn't leave. I wouldn't leave going, I think he might hurt me.
He's clapping. I tell you what, I was watching the football every day, and somebody scored the other day, and somebody scored a goal, and they all started clapping. The fucking savages!
They need to calm down. Like, I mean, just tell him to shut the fuck up or kick him out. Jesus Christ.
No, it's Americans. Americans tend to be fucking drama queens, honestly. I think they are probably the drama queens of the world, I would say.
Can you think of a more dramatic, like, country?
Maybe, I don't know, for some reason I want to say Italy. And I don't know why I want to say Italy. There's just
I don't know, they're quite cool and suave, aren't they?
Hey, you fucking shit in my spaghetti, you son of a bitch!
Yeah, but that's Italian Americans, though.
Oh, right,
like, actual Italians are quite, like,
in
suave and cool, aren't they?
It's okay if you shit in my spaghetti. It's okay.
Oh, I'm just watching a video on Facebook on a train, which might sway us as to whether we prefer trains or buses. And it's one of those where it says, like, cover or uncover this video, and that's always so enticing, isn't it? It's always like, well, I have to uncover it. I have to know what happens.
When you see that, you always go, oh, this is going to be fucking good. You
start
it's rubbing your hands, you start licking your lips.
It's like, don't try and censor me. Don't you think that I can't handle this shit. I can handle this shit.
And then, like, a third of the time you can't handle that shit, and you do end up recovering the thing.
Well, currently it's just a man who's getting angry. Oh, he just got headbutted and knocked out.
Well, fair enough.
That's it. There's no blood or anything. He just got knocked out with a headbutt. I don't know why he headbutted him. Everyone's just laughing. This guy just headbutts this rowdy guy, and he gets knocked out.
If that was in America, 5 people would have drawn guns, and the other half of the fucking train coach would have started crying and running away and reporting it to the police.
Yeah, exactly. But to be fair, in America, it wouldn't have been a headbutt. It would have been a shotgun shot or some shit. So
he would have fucking shot him.
Yeah. Speaking of shotgun shots, when's the last time you did shooting?
I've not been clay pigeon shooting in ages. I've not been to Dad's in ages. I don't want to.
The thing is, it's kind of to do with like what they do now. They're kind of too busy for that sort of thing, aren't they? To see us. It's not we don't go to see them. They're just always busy. I mean, it's been the 1-year anniversary of their yoga studio opening recently, which has flown by. It doesn't feel like they've had a yoga studio for a full year, but they've been so busy with that that there's just nothing to do, really. I mean, they're making a profit, but only enough to pay the bills currently, which sounds bad, but they're actually ahead of target. Like, within your first year, you don't tend to break even on something. It takes a few years.
Yeah, no. I said to Dad, it's like, okay, if, like, you're only breaking even. He was like, it's fucking great that we're breaking even this early.
Yeah.
Like, you're not expected to break even for a year.
Yeah. They're actually doing really well. They do need to expand, and they do need to start bringing more in. And I think they're on about upping the prices a little bit, because, honestly...
Nice.
Apologies for that. I'm not done either. I think I'm done. What was I saying?
I don't know, some stupid
Oh yeah,
shit.
I was just saying that the prices that they've got at Sanctuary Health and Wellbeing Wakefield, go check them out. They're insane. Like, for a yoga class, I would have thought it might be about £20 for an hour. Because, like, if you do, like, a driving lesson or a singing lesson or something like that, it's normally about £20 an hour, maybe, like, between 20 and 30. But at Sanctuary, it's like 10. It's like half what it should be. So I think she's upping it by, like, £2 which it's already way cheaper than it probably should be. So, yeah, I think that's probably a good idea, really.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Now you say something interesting for 15 minutes, Jude.
I have been writing a Call of Cthulhu campaign.
Are you going to be able to condense this to only 15 minutes worth of chat, Jude, or are you going to be too excited about it?
Yes.
It's one of those. One of those is going to be the correct answer.
Yeah, one of those is correct. Are you planning to do 2 of these today? 2 of these podcasts?
Yeah.
Because if that's the case, then we might start the next one off with that. In that case, what have I been doing that's gonna cover 15 minutes?
God, my throat's fucking killing. Have you got into watching any streamers?
No, I don't really watch streamers. Like,
I probably watch streamers more than I watch anything else at this point now.
Yeah.
Because I find I've run out of content to watch, and I'm like searching for a new series to watch or something like that. Whereas with streaming, they're streaming for like 4 to 6 hours a lot of the time, so like that's plenty of content to like just sit and have in the background. I think it's really cool. One of the things that so to help me get to sleep, I like to imagine having unlimited money and like a bunch of the adventures and the fun stuff I could do with that. Yeah. And one of the things I would love to do is like hit up like one of my favourite Apex streamers. Probably there's a guy called Timmy that I really enjoy. He's probably my favourite streamer, and I'd say to him that we'll do like a 10-hour stream and I'll donate $1,000 to charity for every kill that we get in that 10 hours. And I'd love to do something like that. That'd be amazing. I'd have to get like a squad of 3. I'd have to like get 2 of my favourite streamers, and then I'd want to be playing as well, because or it could just be us and him, honestly. If I wanted to get like the biggest streamer for it, or like something like that, if you had unlimited money, that'd be so fun. I'd love to do that.
Yeah.
You'd have to sort of consider who you want to do it with as well, though, because like probably the best streamer to do that would be Dr. Disrespect, because he plays Apex sometimes, and he's pretty good at it, but he wouldn't get as many kills as someone like Dizzy, or who's like a pro player or something like that. So what would you do with unlimited money, Judd? What's some interesting shenanigans you would get up to?
I'd fucking kill myself. I'd drink until I were dead.
But the thing is, right, if you got unlimited money, all you like, I feel like most of your troubles and the things that you hate about the world, you could solve with that unlimited money rather than having to kill yourself to solve them.
Yeah, but I want to kill myself.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. You want to kill yourself because of all this crap, right? But if you've got unlimited money, you can make all the crap go away. So then you don't have to die.
I don't know. I mean, obviously I'd want to basically get a lot of fucking nerd stuff, like lots of Warhammer models. I'd probably spend a lot of it on my friends, like just trying to make my friends comfortable and happy. Which
I would totally do that.
I know a guy called Uber Haxanova, who I think was who basically did the same thing. It's like I think I heard him say once, like, "Oh well, I'm sorted now for life. I'm comfortable. So all I want to do is try and make my friends comfortable and happy as well."
It's kind of like Mr. Beast, isn't he? He's doing that sort of thing.
Yeah, but that's what I'd do. I'd spend it most on my friends and family.
Well, it's like if I had it, I would pay you like $100,000 a year to just stream on here all the time. Like I'd get you a house and like good internet and all the gear you need. I'd just buy all of it, because there's no reason not to. Like get you a car if you need to drive places and all that sort of thing, and just pay you like $100,000 a year to stream, which is a lot of money. Like that's like what, nearly $10,000 a month.
Every time I get one follow, I'm just gonna be like, I think I deserve a raise.
So that'd be so fun. I'd one of the things I did think as well is I wouldn't tell like my mum or stepdad that I had all this money, and then
Yeah.
I'd get my sister to like smash up our car with like a baseball bat or something, and I'd get them to come out and see her do it like that, like bashing this fucking car in and destroying it, and then I'd obviously take them to buy like 2 brand new cars.
Yeah.
That'd be so fun to just see my little sister, like 12-year-old, just bashing this car in.
That sounds really funny, actually. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's good content. And then you'd be able to video it, and the thumbnail will be like, my little sister trashed my family's car.
Yeah, exactly.
Gone
Again, I'm
wrong.
still thinking about content here. Like, I'm even with all the money in the world, I would still be thinking about content. Tesso Terrick says hi. How's it going, Tesso? We're just getting towards the end of the first podcast we're recording for today.
I hope
Thanks
you've
for
not
joining.
gone and seen the new Joker movie, Tesso, because it's violent and it will cause you to do violent things.
He's saying that you really need to shave.
I need to shave. Wow.
What's wrong with Judd's beard, Tesso? I mean, come on. Like, you know.
It frames me.
I shaved like last night, so it's fine. But yeah.
Yeah.
We got another follower last night, Judd. I think it's a female. She was called Miss MRS Alaria, which sounds like malaria. But yeah, and she called me sweetie. So, ooh. Tesso Terrick says he doesn't watch movies. I don't watch any of those moving picture dealios. They're the work of Satan.
Because Joaquin Phoenix's Joker will cause you to become a violent and outrageous member of society.
Apparently.
You'll be apparently, according to a bunch of fucking idiots who don't know what they're talking about.
He's saying just you're okay to spoil it for him, but he's not okay because I've not seen it yet and I want to see it. So
yeah, I'm not going to be spoiling it. And I know someone who's going to be listening to this who also hasn't seen it and wants to go see it, who doesn't want it spoiling. So
whoa, people actually listen to this shit.
One person listens to this shit, yeah.
Because Jake is against it because I have to force myself to like it. Yeah, you do. You have to force yourself to like it.
Yeah, just like I have to force myself to like everything he likes or he'll get angry at me.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Yeah, why haven't you forced yourself to like Apex Legends yet, Judd? Come on. I've got some people to play with and everything.
I'm really trying, I promise you. I had a look at how many hours I played recently, and apparently I've done like 150 something hours.
Yeah,
so
that makes sense.
I imagine you'll probably have played more at this point, but
yeah, I've got like 217, so
yeah, because I used to play it a lot when it came out, and then I just got better stuff, and I was just like, okay, I don't need to play this anymore, because I was only playing it whilst I waited for this other stuff. So
yeah.
And now I have it, I'm just like, okay, I'm just playing this then.
Tesso Terrick saying he didn't understand what you said last podcast. Probably to do with what I meant about spoilers and that. It probably didn't make sense, to be fair, so I wouldn't feel too bad about it. So yeah, spoilers are bad is the summary of that. Everyone seems to like my my Flounder Discord picture. It's Flounder with like a 6-pack and a vape.
It is funny, that one. I'm planning on changing mine, because I only had it set to that, which, if anyone wants to know what it is, it's fucking what's her name from Wreck-It Ralph? Penelope Von Sweets, pulling like an Ahego face, and she's all done up like an E-fop. Hold on, did I just hear someone calling me? Is someone just... Are people here?
This is Judd's professionalism, look.
No. Okay, so, yeah, no, it's like...
Hey, Judd, you know I was just saying we got a new follower yesterday called Miss Alaria. Well,
yeah.
They're in chat right now. What do you want to say to this new follower?
Hello, Malaria.
Your name does sound a little bit like malaria, but that's fine. We don't judge about these sorts of things. We're cool with all types here.
Horrible ravenous diseases, we're fine.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, what was I talking about? Oh yeah, it's Penelope Von Sweets from Wreck-It Ralph pulling like a Hago face or something. And I only had to say it to that because like this is a bit funny, and I've just watched the new Wreck-It Ralph, so I'll say it to that. But
yeah,
and now I'm just like, it's not funny anymore, and it's kind of a bit gross, so I want to change it. So
Yeah.
need to find something.
To be honest, I
that's
thought
funny.
there was like an internet culture of Discord photos being kind of something edgy and a bit funny. Maybe a bit silly looking that you just sort of find out in the wild and like that's a fitting Discord picture. But turns out that's just us. So
Yeah, I actually hold on. I mean, no, it's like that in the main Discord I'm in.
she's saying my name is Alaria. Am I pronouncing that right? And the Mrs. part. Oh shit. Thanks for Black Welfare Rat for following. Jesus Christ.
I like that one. That one.
Black
I like.
Welfare Rat? Fucking
one-
hell, what is
that
that
one-
name?
That one can stay.
Yeah, when I first pronounced this person's name, I thought they were called Mr. Solaria. But obviously it's Miss Solaria. Is that, what country is that name from? I don't recognise that. We don't have that name in our country.
Jake can't speak very well because he has synesthesia.
Yeah, I have dyslexia, so it doesn't help. Apparently I'm the only one who didn't get that. That makes sense. I am stupid enough to say something like that. God, what was that guy's name again? Black something rat?
I don't know, something about the blacks.
God.
It is!
Well,
It's what it
a
is!
shout out for big thanks for the follow right there. That's that was a very amusing name, and it's now going to be immortalised for eternity on this podcast. Black Welfare Rat. That's it. They're in chat right now. They've put Pixel Bob Ross emotes in chat.
Nice.
You're not up to Twitch culture, are you, Judd? You're not up on your big old Twitch culture because you don't watch any streamers or anything, do you?
A little bit. I mean, I watched some Tyler Warren. I watched some Asmongold. But I don't watch it really on Twitch. I watch it on like highlights on YouTube. So
Yeah.
not really.
Tessoteric saying he thinks the name's from Italy. For a guess, it could be. Is it from Germany? Well, I don't know. It's your name. Why are you asking if it's from Germany?
If
Let me
it's
Google
Italian-
this. Let me Google the name Alaria.
If it's,
Alaria name.
If it's Italian,
Origin.
then that means we have all of the Axis powers following us.
Jesus Christ. Latin, Corsican, Greek. It's saying it originates from Greece. So there you
I
go.
can see that.
The name Alaria is a greasy name. Greasy name. I don't know where my name comes from. You're from Switzerland. I've been to Switzerland before. I quite liked Switzerland. I once went on a...
It was quite dirty. The people there were
No.
quite dirty.
No, it was in fact, it was the exact opposite of that. It was super clean and nice, actually.
I remember this place is fucking awesome. Every place ever should be like this.
Well, that was Sweden, actually, that I meant with that. But I once went on like a long, like a 4-day trip to Italy, but we had to change planes via Switzerland. So we like stopped and had some. We had some like your typical Swiss fondue with the cheese in a log cabin type thing. We went
Oh my
real
God,
stereotypical.
You fucking white privileged, disgusting scum.
No, that's the stereotypical shit from Switzerland, isn't it?
I hope you get shot at a viewing of Joker.
Also one of my neighbours. Yeah. That's it. So we did that. It was really nice. The cheese kind of tasted a little weird. I don't know if that's because I was in Switzerland or what, but it was nice. It was just kind of different to what we're used to.
The Swiss people tasted kind of weird. bit nasty.
The Swiss people were like actually like it's weird. Switzerland was kind of like a variation on Sweden. I know that like people get those mixed up, but they are kind of similar in their attitudes and things like that.
I could totally see that, like them being a very similar country.
They were all like quite good looking and pretty nice and like sort of they weren't very loud. They were like quite respectful and things like that. So yeah, Switzerland's nice. Apparently she's saying Switzerland is very tidy, but it's really expensive to live here and high taxes and stuff. Yeah, that again, that sounds like Sweden, but to be honest, I prefer that. I think that's the way of doing stuff. But yeah, I think that's enough for one podcast. If you're watching live, don't worry, we're not ending the live stream because we record 2 podcasts in one go. So we'll just be finishing off this podcast and we'll immediately be starting the next one after. So if you're listening to the podcast after it's been recorded live, thanks for tuning in and you're probably a fucking dumbass. Haha. Yeah.
Yeah.
Check out the sponsor. Okay, goodbye.